it be the Pango for them? Do they now have to think about that more with the Batrider picked up, or what else were they looking for?
Mm,
Okay. Well,
there's the
that's
counter pick.
not a fun
Yeah.
time now on DogChamp.
And they did have an option there, right? They could have, in the same vein as the Queen of Pain, banned the Slark out and then gone for the Batrider here. But of course, wanting to keep it flexible with the laning situation, they let it through. And this is where, again, DogChamp, did you pick your hero just one pick too early where you're in captain's mode? Are your opponents really just going to punish you everywhere here? Because, well, this is the easy punish. And then that Bloodseeker ban makes maybe a little bit more sense here. They pick up the CM as well, round out the lineup. And now DogChamp say, well, what do we want Stonebake to play versus this Slark? Because, well, that's our best option. Because we're all still and will still look to try and make these counter picks work out coming into this final phase. But I don't know, Raven's lineup's just looking at you and saying, show me what you got. And I don't know what DogChamp have left because everything is just annoying to play into. You cannot pick Juggernaut. You cannot really pick Troll. You would want to pick a hero like Faceless Void, but, you know, that's why it's gone already. So I don't know. This is just a real tough spot to be in again.
Yeah. They've got some hard decisions to make here. Maybe you can dodge some of these laning matchups, but the actual hero versus hero is still going to be there eventually. So you have to decide, what are you okay with sort of trying to power your way through, or what lane would you potentially sack? Although DogChamp are going to pull it back a little bit with that pick. The Enigma, which was not banned out, had not been receiving much attention. DogChamp are going to give it a go. Of course, you do have to be a little bit careful here because you're playing Enigma into a Visage, so you need to very much be aware of the position of those familiars, but gives DogChamp another sort of form of just massive amounts of teamfight and lockdown.
Yeah, and I understand why they go for it because this is a hero that can actually kill Slark, can actually pin him down. But as soon
Mhm.
as they pick up the Enigma, you know, lock. Everything is now rigid. It is mid Bat Rider. It is 4 Tiny. It
Right.
is 3 Enigma. Everything becomes apparent to Ravens. And it's why now it's just a matter of banning out heroes and seeing if Ravens have enough bans. Because, well, you think about it, they've been banning carries up until this point. Will there be something for Stonebank left in the pool here? They ban out the PL for pretty obvious reasons, just something that the Visage cannot contend with ever. And it makes you think, are we perhaps going to see a Naga Siren coming through in the final phase? You know, some Naga Siren Enigma action, some a little bit of combo play going out, or do they decide to change things up, go for something a little bit more active? Well, we'll have to see, and have to see what Ravens also ban out here. Meanwhile, for DogChamp, they're just going to stick with the Nengo Flow bans. They need Nengo Flow's hero. Of course, Nengo Flow has also been shoved aside. There's still the Invoker, there's still Lena, and there is still Void Spirit, so could see him go for just one of those three, plain and simple. But again, we'll have to see. And Puck, okay, solid ban. Probably more alluding to what kind of hero Stonebeck would play, because rest of the lineup, I don't think really cares too much about that.
Well, Puck taken by the wayside. Now we'll see Raven's final ban here. What else are they worried about from Stonebank? Talked about the Naga Siren, could potentially ban out that. I suppose technically speaking, we've mentioned it repeatedly now. There is things like a Morphling in the pool. So between those two, I feel like you're more concerned with the Naga ban than a Morphling, but it's going to be neither one. It's going to be the Jug instead. So
Mm.
damage-wise, I feel like that's maybe a step down from the heroes we were talking about, but the durability would make it a little harder for Ravens to punish him.
Yeah, and okay,
A
like
Pango
the
ban.
Pango ban, yeah, just covering their bases yet again, and fast pick.
Okay.
Okay, no, can't go really wrong there. Does need to be a little bit careful. Of course, any melee hero versus Bat Rider is going to have to be a little bit more patient and let those stacks actually reset. You can't get too greedy with it, otherwise you do get forced to TP back to your tower. You know, you end up taking a little bit too much damage, and you could pretty easily feed in that lane. But now for Stonebank, we're back to this question. Is it the Terror Blade? Do we see them gamble everything on that? Is it the Weaver? Probably not. It's where, honestly, just getting any matchup he's going to feel comfortable with. It's going to be nice, but I can't even fathom it. And it's just
Hmm.
Stonebank Ursa. I mean, it's simple. It's plain. Your push is not the best on DogChamp. That's going to be Italiano Gangster's job pretty much the entire game, but something to kill Roche, I suppose. Something to play for, but I don't know. I think that hero is gonna struggle a little bit to maintain his position and maintain on anybody in this game. It's where you're playing versus Benja's Visage. You're just going to get stunned by the birds. You're gonna have complete knowledge. Not to mention, you're also playing versus Kunkka. So anytime you go in, unless you're getting your BKB off very early, and especially pre-BKB, and Rage does not do anything to
Mhm.
that X marks. You are just gonna start to get kited. It's where Dad has a pretty nice buildup as well. Just looks for probably BKB Halberd, and then suddenly Stonebank doesn't really want a team fight. I don't know. I do think that Ravens are going to struggle maybe a little bit more with the. And actually, okay, Dodd is the
Yeah,
Kunkka,
yeah,
and Nengo
okay,
flows
thank
the
you.
Slark. Okay,
I was wondering if I
that's
was
what I
seeing
thought they were
things.
going to do as well. But okay, there you go. There's your counter. I don't know. Ravens with first pick, countering out the team with last pick. Ah, how does this always happen?
Oh man. Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. We'll see though. We saw something kind of similar, right, with Guts and Mini, where they picked what we thought were going to be each other's heroes, but then they both still went to the opposite lane. So maybe something similar to play out here, or just kind of a swap for the lane matchups. We'll have to see. But in this instance, DogChamp, it's gonna be tough, and I think the number one thing about that Ursa, right? You were talking about it. It's not bad, but it's also not very good. It was just here is a hero that we can pick that will not lose us the game inherently, but Stonebank's not going to have, you know, the smoothest of paths to victory on this hero.
Yeah, and then at the same time, like now the Kunkka pick makes a lot more sense because it's just gonna have to be Enigma off lane, and you know, it's something that a lot of SA teams don't actually go for. I feel like that's where the last pick Gyro carry has been slightly more popular than the carry Kunkka, but then you look at teams like Infamous and Thunder Awaken, and you realize that with how popular Kunkka is for those lineups, they do just flex it sometimes. Their carry players can play Kunkka because, well, it's a strong laner, it's really annoying, and if you can swap up the lanes last second like they have, then you get very ideal lane setups like, again, they also have. But we'll have to see what they actually end up to do here and whether or not, I guess, you can really just find those black holes come mid game. But coming out of the lanes, you know, you gotta favor Ravens so much here.
Hmm. This feels like they have a pretty sizable advantage. Let's see if they can actualize that as Boundary Runes, even split, 2-2. Dismar, where is he going right? He's going to try and get the D ward. Yes, he is. Okay. Nice play there. A little bit of extra gold into his pockets. B9 is technically tracking him, but he's not going to get close enough for any damage. And settle into the lanes, which might be a tri-lane attempt at first blood here, because Kara has snuck his way up here, and nobody saw him. Quick kill onto Stonebank would be big. They're going to try for it. He even skilled up the dispose. That's a little bit awkward with the positioning, but they should still have it.
Yeah, no. Free kill, soul assumption. Kara's gonna probably look to TP out pretty soon, but oh, he's gonna hide in the trees, and now they're going to be very patient, and there is musical lanes going on, because right now they're trying to keep this situation with the Kunkka versus the
No.
Enigma and the Slark versus the Bat, but yeah, okay, at least it wasn't on a Stonebank. A die TP die this early on would be a tragedy, but it's musical lanes. They can just stay here. Kara is not necessary right now for anybody to make these lanes happen, and we will see probably the swap happen yet again here, but I mean, here we go. How much farm is Stonebank really going to get whenever they're just going to maintain these heroes? And, well, usually there's only two heroes in the lane, but the CM's pulling right now while Stonebank eats a ton of damage, and the creep wave is already pulled back, so I mean, this is just a huge success. Kara does the support job, now comes back bottom. Still have to see that lane swap of the Sark and the Kunkka probably trade, but I don't know, we'll see what they decide to do now that Kara's in the lane.
Yeah, the presence of the CM might be enough where Nyengo Flow just says, maybe I stick here, but we shall have to see. But that was 2 kills. I guess in terms of potential downside, it's that Dismar was the one to get both of those, so I don't know. The Marzi does eventually get a little bit aggressive, right, with the BKB and the Basher build, but that's still a long ways off, although with Stonebank getting bullied like this, man, Timing for DogChamp's going to look kind of awful. He's at least finding some last hits, so this isn't a complete failure of a lane, but we already said Stonebank was going to have difficulties, right? Now, you don't even get a stable start to your lane.
Yeah, no, and of course, the reason why he has any last hits is because Visage, as we keep talking about, does not have very much base damage. You are just extremely weak early on, but with these creep pulls keep getting off, and just gonna get the soul XP. And do they meet the creeps? Okay, yeah, they go for it, and damage again, traded onto Stonebank. Gonna be a big soul assumption. Fatty has a big stick, so should be able to walk this one out, but it's still just Stonebank getting rushed off of those creeps, as that's a flag bearer creep as well. You'd love to get it, but the denies come through, and Stonebank just has to waltz back to where the creep wave's supposed to usually be, but still not finding that much farm.
The good news right now, if your DogChamp, is that, for the moment, BTS is out of mana. We'll see if he brings out any, sort of mango play to him, but it means for the time being they can sort of rest easy knowing that that aggression's not going to come out onto them again. But it's just been so consistent to this point. His bottom lane, an attempt will be made onto Kara. There's going to be the toss back, and I think at this point, yeah, Kara just recognizes he is going to die, tries to set up a kill for Ningo Flow. But he's not quite fast enough here on the Slark. The boots for Yaren helping to keep him alive.
Will you come mid and hold hands with me?
No, nice play, nice toss back. Italiana Gangster is rocking it, because of course, while everybody's rotating around, he's just playing Enigma, denying absolutely everything, and probably a good few of those are also his Eidolons killing themselves, but that's where we'll have to see, because he is off to an absolute stellar start. And with that, and he also rotates mid for just a sec, seeing if you can maybe catch the Kunkka in a mistake, but things will begin to settle down just a little bit here.
So yeah, the first 2 kills of the game go to Ravens off of that sort of sneaky tri-lane play, but since then, settled down a bit. DogChamp farming. The Ursa in particular has just kind of really bounced back as, Ningo Flow. Ava, toss, not enough damage just yet, but he has no pounce. He's not getting away.
No, another nice kill there. Again, Italiana Gangster, super strong. Just Yaren needing to find those tossbacks. That'll just continue to happen here. And with the Tranquils, yeah, that will happen. But got to continuously punish this Slark. Really set Dad off to a slow one as you look across the map. And, well, same story. Yeah.
It's an interesting choice, but...
And then they walk and then they TP.
Going on
but
here
with the nighttime,
Will you come mid and hold hands with me?
He's trying to sort of slow RCY down, but now the bat's gonna go in. But with Yengo Flow here, yeah, this is gonna get a little bit awkward. It's rooted in place. Where's the pounce? 3 seconds. Kara's not gonna last that long though. Yaren comes in. He's gotta try and back off. Dodd's now coming in as well. The Torrent's gonna hit onto RCY. Can he get anything going here? He has no ghost ship. Level 3 Tide is a decent amount of damage, but not enough. But here comes Dismar. Rebound in. Misses on the stun, though. But the move speed might allow Dodd to just keep on chasing. This is still not an easy kill. Torrent going to come out again. Not going to connect. I don't see how RCY genuinely makes it out of here. He needs to buy time for a TP that he should not get with Dismar on him, but maybe he finds a hiding spot. This looks like as good a spot as any. There it is. He'll TP himself away, and he somehow survives that.
No, and almost was a punish there because of how fast Nengoflo had actually rotated. And actually, with the Italiano Gangster TPing bottom, well, he will notice that, yeah, it's still musical lanes right now. Musical lanes that the Enigma is still having a absolute blast in, but he has never had the lane versus the Kunkka yet. He has just continuously been farming. You haven't seen Dodd actually able to make that rotation, so in doing so, sure, got some levels, and actually the Kunkka finally makes his way here, and if they kill Italiano Gangster, the musical lanes are done. This would be huge, and he's got the ghost ship, but without a friend, oh, let's see it. He's gonna kill the Eidolons, there you go, and then as soon as he gets that TP, I feel like Italiano Gangster might just leave, but we'll see, because RCY, he doesn't have a TP right now, so they can't continuously do that. As top, oof.
Able to get onto B9. Nice little bit of damage there out from Benjaz. Stonebank now, without his backup, is going to be sort of clearing out of the area as well. So, not a bad play there for Ravens, but they're going to need a little bit more, and they might be getting more. Dismar just TP'd bot. Love to make that punish play, as you mentioned, onto Italiano. Kara is going to just sort of act as the bait. There's going to be Dismar jumping in. That's going to set up for the torrent. The ghost ship comes in now as well. And the Enigma should go down here. B9's going to try to come in to help, but he's a little bit too late. Kara does have to sacrifice his life for this, but it's the trade that Ravens wanted. Don't think they can go in again, though. No.
No, but got exactly what you wanted. Killed the Enigma. See if they do a another lane swap up here, but this was also a huge timing for Nengo Flow. Even though originally he had a TP in lane versus a Batrider who was 2 levels above him, and he still had a little bit of a level deficit, he's been able to recover quite nicely, and that's where the road to recovery is just coming in sooner and sooner. And they do decide to just TP and now sit in their lanes, which is smart, but also Benjaz gets a 6 top, so the birds are online.
Question now is, does he look to make any sort of move with them? Because he doesn't have any backup in this top lane. Yarn comes in, drops the avalanche. Benjaz is getting very low, but the familiar stun comes through. Kara's going to arrive. Can he actually help Benjaz? Kara? Not sure where his camera was. He just walks past the heroes, and now he might die too.
Ooh, bird stun in 1.
Still going to be able to get it. Avalanche is there. Dismar's going to look for a little revenge, though. Does he have the damage by himself? He might. If he hits with the rebound, he will. And it's actually the familiars that get it done. But that was very strange. Kara just kind of walked past the initial fight. I'm pretty damn sure he had his camera in a different lane. But, well, DogChamp are able to sort of keep even here in terms of the kill count. You take a look at that team fight recap, and it's a little bit Ravens favored, but oh, it's going to be a lot more Ravens favored if they find this kill. RCY caught in the middle lane. Dismar and Yengo Flow combined forces for the kill, and okay, just a casual route onto B9 at the end there. Not going to turn into anything else.
Yeah, and as we always talk about with musical lanes, the supports end up being the big winners because there's the ones to anchor down all of that XP, and currently you're just seeing a lot of rotations coming out from both sides, but it is a matter of whether or not I think Yaren can live up to now. You've gotten out-rotated by Dismar twice. Can you get any more plays going for the Tiny is going to be the next question, but we'll have to see because, again, more TPs come through. Now the Batrider's playing bottom after dying. Italiano takes over mid, and now Nengo Flow is going to be upset, but Dodd with Boat, they could just look for a kill into RCY, and this could really slow down the Batrider, but we'll have to see. They got to butter him up a little bit before they go for it.
Dismar is just going to wait in the wings, but Yengo Flow mid gets taken down. Italiano Gangster hits him with a black hole, and, well, wasn't sure he was going to have enough damage by himself, but he does manage to make it happen. And now, yeah, they're going to try to make the counter move down bot. They go in with that Ghost Ship X combo. They find the kill, and
oh, and Dismar.
wow. B9 just getting beat up a little bit. Here comes Dodson. Thanks for the free kill, teammate. They do walk away from that one. The victors up in the top lane, though. Another potential fight. Kara was able to push it onto Yarn a little bit there with the help of Benjaz. They can't find the kill, and now they will be falling back. But who's coming along? Italiano Gangster looking for the high ground. Doesn't have Black Hole now, and they should know that. But at this point, he doesn't have any teammates here, so it's time to back off.
Yeah, and so much damage, actually. And got to see the Visage nerf a little bit there, because Benjaz's bird did just die because went out of the range of the Gravekeeper's Cloak. It's 900 range instead of 1200 before, so do have to be mindful of that, because those birds are paper thin, especially level 1 birds, until you get maybe a few more points up in the Gravekeeper's Cloak, but slight change. Feel it a little bit.
It's not quite as tough as they used to be, as well, when they're that far away. But in the meantime, Ravens, oh, just trying to farm up a little bit, right? They did use a lot of their big spells across those last couple of engagements, but while they wait and farm, see DogChamp trying to get aggressive. Yarn's on the hunt, dropping down some wards. Meanwhile, his teammates trying to put a little bit of an emphasis on this tower push, which is an aspect of this DogChamp lineup that is unbelievably weak. If Italiano Gangster's not there, then your pushing power really just kind of falls off a cliff, but they're hitting it. Progress is technically still coming, but that glyph is going to slow them down.
No, it's definitely not the fastest push in the world, but it is a push that they have to make here. As, ooh, Kara. And that's getting enigma'd. What can you do?
A whole lot to be done now. He's going to have to eat that death. Tower goes down in the bottom lane, so DogChamp are able to scrape together a little bit more of a lead here, as it does crack that 1k mark, but want a little bit more than that. Look at Yaren, trying to get in position. This ward, though, makes him the least sneaky tiny in the world, but it is worth noting for Yaren, he's only about 500 away from that Blink Dagger, which, considering the fact that he has gotten 0 farm, he's got 8 last hits, he's been able to make this still in a pretty good time. 4-0-2 really kind of helps out with that, finding the kill gold, but it's going to be big for DogChamp if they can get that Blink Dagger up and if they can keep their support safe, because B9 is not able to do a whole lot about that. Doesn't have a point in the Untouchable even, so just an easy kill for the Slark.
No, it's very easy, and yeah, Yaren is going to have to be the playmaker for his team, especially whenever there is that downtime in between black holes, but that's why he's got the mid lane, because Italian and Gangster can jungle and Tiny cannot, so Yaren's going to be able to finish it up here pretty soon, but that's where we should have a pretty big clash here. Black hole just came up off cooldown, so if Benjas wanted to get aggressive onto that mid tower, it's going to be responded to with that ability, but that's where Wraith Pact also finished. Italiano is willing to brawl. He is incredibly strong right now. He's also still probably the highest level in this game. He's just been able to farm and do pretty much whatever he wants. But bottom, there's no tower here. There's no more help. I wonder if you just look to get away now. Dismar is here, but... okay.
They're going to try and take the fight now. They've already lost Kara, but they trade him out for RCY. There's going to be the Avalanche, though, into the toss. Pulling Dismar back. And there's no way the Marcy gets out of that one, but he's going to act as enough of a distraction to get everyone else away. Although, if he had a creep wave, maybe he could do some sort of rebound play, but as it stands, he should eventually get run down. He has no TP. And yeah, that's exactly what happens. Yarn gets the kill. Now the toss onto the Slark, who does not want to be here anymore, but he's not really going to have a choice. I don't really know why he came back at that point.
Yeah, he got really hard punished. He just wanted to try and give Dismar a rebound target, but then ended up just dying in a very dramatic fashion. But, you know, he's not the carry. He's the mid laner. You know, that's the thing you got to keep reminding yourself here.
Right.
Dad is the carry. He's the one who's farming, and he is pretty nicely farmed on the Kunkka, but that's where we'll have to see, because the Sark is definitely not panning out right now, and there is a Battle Fury now completed on Stonebank, who is playing the more traditional carry, the more traditional hero. It is his choice, the hero of choice that he will always go for, but with that Blink Dagger as well, he'll be able to start some team fights, but this is Smoke with Tiny Blink. They're looking for the Ancients, looking for kills here. I don't know if they want exactly Kunkka, but oh!
Gotta watch out for that Black Hole threat. They can't group up too heavily as the Ghost Ship comes through. Kara's the only one to die there, and Italiano... he was kind of hoping for it. Hoping that Dodd commits fully for that fight, but they don't get that commitment.
Yeah, and they do split very nicely. Without that, I think Italiano probably would have just sent it, but mid?
Avalanche?
Don't even have to use it.
The toss is in. He's going to toggle the armlet a little bit. That's going to force out a lasso, but they do still find the kill. B9, he gets picked off elsewhere, but it's really not going to be a worthwhile trade. They would need much more than that, but Yaren's in a little bit of a tricky spot. He's able to blink himself out of it, however. And DogChamp get away with pretty minimal casualties. Okay. Yaren tries to toss away those heroes chasing after him. It's not really going to work, though. He is still in trouble, so... not so minimal casualties anymore, but it's still just the 2 supports.
Yeah, did feed a pretty nice streak over to Nengo Flow, but you know, don't want to be too bothered by it. And again, during all of that time, Stonebank is just farming away, super happy in his Ancients, and he does have that Blink Dagger, so could look to see Stonebank get maybe a little bit more involved. And of course, DogChamp are always going to be fiending for kills on that top side of the map, because 1 or 2 picks, and you're probably just into your first Aegis for Stonebank. But until then, can't go into the pit versus Kunkka and Visage. It's just way too many things that could either stun you or kill you. This is interesting, though. If they decide to just smoke in and just go for it right away, they'll definitely force Ravens to, at the very least, check. And with this timing, it is kind of out of the blue, so Stonebank will just start it. And unless they get any wins, then this should just be free. And, of course, first Aegis, you know, not the biggest game changer in the world, but you have to do this just to get the game rolling.
That's very unfortunate. They absolutely kill the hell out of an illusion, and then there's going to be the black hole onto Niengo Flow, catching out the Slark. Not finishing him, though. Hold on a second. Can the Slark somehow make it away? He did pounce already? No. B9's able to track him down, so they do still find the kill, and... Man. That goes about as poorly as it possibly could have. It's Aegis for free over to DogChamp, you lose your Slark, and you exploded an Enigma illusion rather than a real hero, so... Setbacks. Multiple setbacks now for Ravens, but well, maybe even more setbacks, because Kara just got caught out. Benjaz is going to try to come in here looking for some sort of return play, but by himself doesn't really have the damage. You can only get the Soul Assumption down onto so many people, and it's going to force him to back off.
No, it's definitely unfortunate, but we'll have to see. Because they could also just flip the game on its head by finding Italiano Gangster early when he doesn't have his own BKB, but until they find that opportunity, they are definitely put on the defensive now. DogChamp just have to play a nice, clean game of Dota, and then they can really make their moves. They've got 3 Blink Daggers now. They've hit a nice little item power spike. Destroyer is still trying to catch up on that Bat Rider, but they're making some pretty nice moves here. There is still a very farmed Kunkka who is becoming slightly problematic. He's got a full BKB, so he is now ready to team fight on the side of the Ravens, but nobody else really is quite as strong as him. You're still waiting for the Wraith Pack to be done on Benjaz. I think it's coming out pretty soon here, but nothing for Nengoful. The Slark is still playing quite slowly. Has to wait for a lot of his farm, and DogChamp, they are not going to give you that time. They want to go right now and look mid. Toss back.
Toss back. Niengo Flow got off the ult, however, so he should be able to clear out. Dismar may just be sacrificed at this point. Although Dodd, there's going to be the BKB. Here comes the Ghost Ship connecting onto 3. This is getting a little bit tough. There's a channeled ult from Kara on the backline too, so they're still taking all of that freezing field damage. And DogChamp just overplay their hand a little bit there. They needed that kill quickly. When they don't get it, they don't back off, and that's exactly the trap that Ravens were hoping to spring.
Yep, and now you get punished for only having the BKB on the Bat Rider before you go for that engagement, and they just found a ton of gold. That's a 2k shift instantly, and Stonebank just wasn't able to do anything for him. The fight was over in the blink of an eye, and, well, you're still in a good spot. You're still strong. You're still annoying, but it's a slippery slope versus Ravens. Give them one more fight like that, and then suddenly they're ahead of you, and then you're not happy with your position. Black hole's up in 15. So maybe we see a smoke from DogChamp in just a sec here. They kind of have to get Italiano Gangster onto any of these heroes, but still, watch yourselves.
He does have the Blink Dagger now on the Enigma, so yeah, he's got a little bit more range to work with, but Black Hole is up. Blink is ready. Who has... No one has a smoke at the moment, so just kind of trying to walk it in at this point, moving into the south side jungle, and the only problem with this, with the no smoke play, is that Ravens just have an incredible amount of ways to scout this out, right? The Familiars could fly over, Dismar could try and get some vision and then rebound away, so I don't know. I understand not wanting to use a smoke if you don't have to, but if you don't, it feels like you just don't make a play happen, so instead, they're trying to get a little bit of pressure onto the tier 2 down in the bottom lane. They are kind of hitting up for some serious damage, but here comes the response. 3-man smoke. Who are they going to run into? They spotted Italiano. He's forced to blink away. That means that they kind of leave the Tiny behind, and yeah, Yarn's going to be the sacrificial lamb here. The tower did end up going down, though, but they've got other issues. Stonebank gets taken down. There's his first life. Dismar's just going to try and act as this buffer to keep Italiano Gangster away. But the fight is shifting a little bit closer to that Enigma, but Italiano, he's still just getting pressured. Dismar will not let him get into position, so Stonebank is all by himself, and they do take him down. Now they go on to the Enigma. Dismar is no longer the distraction. He's the assassin. And DogChamp, well, ET, you tried to warn him. Give your opponents too many chances. Give Ravens in particular more opportunities like that, and the momentum was going to shift, and it now has shifted.
Yeah, and I understand you want to go bottom. You get the tier 2 at the end of the day as well. You're just trying to keep the game moving forward, but without taking that break and finishing off the BKB of the Enigma, well, he's just the target to get pushed away, and he doesn't even get a Blink Dagger off. It's just where he doesn't have enough damage to kill Dismar. He doesn't have enough damage to get past him either. It just ends up being one of those sad situations where they're still getting toyed with, and Ravens are getting so much gold. Bot is now top of the net worth. Nice, maybe toss back here onto Dismar, but the team is coming in, so watch him.
Torrent hitting onto 2 or 3. That's a tidebringer onto everybody. Dismar does die. The black hole is going to be used, though. Maybe they can turn. They've got multiple heroes stuck inside of this. Nango Flow is going to get taken down. Dodd will fall as well. Okay. Big fight now from DogChamp. They're going to look for Kara as well. Should finish this one off. Yeah. Stonebank's in there for the pickoff, and that is... well, the exact opposite of what you needed there for Ravens. You just took back-to-back fights. Very impressive. Fantastic stuff. That does not mean that you can still send 4 heroes onto 1 target in the middle lane with no vision of the Enigma.
It just feels like they not only overstay their welcome, but also just don't get anything off. They don't get any of their BKBs through. Dad just dies so quickly, doesn't even get a boat off. And really, just because the Italian gangster respawns, walks up to the team fight, they even run away from their own vision that they placed there. Definitely sloppy stuff, but we'll have to see, because even though it's tough to say, and of course every one fight from Ravens is more of that comeback gold going into their pockets, but deaths in this game really don't matter too much unless it's around the Roche pit. And of course, with Roche not being alive for a minute 20, it's where the stakes of this game really do lower every single time that objective is not around, with just how fast DogChamp can take it off of a win. But it's also where you just got the Ag Slark, you just got Boots of Daring as well finished on the Visage, and of course, well, knowing they don't have Black Hole, your opponents aren't really your opponents right now, and oh, Italiano. Well, we showed for just a second, and yeah, you're gonna get eaten, and Benjaz gets his revenge tip.
Hit him up. 2 kills going their way. Well, not much to be done after those kills, though. That is the issue. As you said, kills around the Roche pit or around when Roche is alive are going to matter, but kills that don't allow them to push onto any objectives are kind of iffy as well. It's nice to get the gold, no matter what, so you still have that, but you need to be able to keep pushing, you need to be able to get onto objectives, and right now that's just not really in the cards for Ravens.
Yeah, they're still playing a little bit of that catch-up game still, but mid.
9?
Yeah, gotta be careful.
Familiars kind of come in there to try and break that up. They might end up losing them, though. They're putting some effort in to try and track these down. They will be able to get 1. The other's trying to fly away. Stonebank won't catch up to it, but now, what's going on here with Yengo Flow?
Yeah.
He's trying to look for the angle on the back line. Dismar comes in. They are catching out Bloody 9. No, they're not, because the lasso comes in. Benja still gets the kill from long range, but the fight is going to break out in the pit. Still no Roche alive, but they are taking that engagement. Enigma going to get caught out. Boat comes through to finish him off, but they still need to deal with Stonebank.
Oh, no.
But Stonebank's running out of time on that magic immunity. Yeah, that BKB wears off, and he is just completely destroyed. And now RCY, caught by the X, pulls him back in. 2 minutes on the Roche timer. That is a merciful timer if you're DogChamp.
Yeah, no, that's where you see 15 seconds and then your jaw just drops. But yeah, just a fight where they were so painfully aware of that black hole timer. I don't know who's keeping track of it, but 10 seconds left and you jump onto that Enigma not thinking you're all going to get 3-man black hole. That is just a next level of awareness coming in from, I assume, the support's taking down that timer, because yeah, that's the punish. You couldn't do anything. You were so close to being able to make that happen, but it's just not in the cards for you. They press the issue, you get punished for it. Maybe even a stroke of luck, you could say, for DogChamp's sake, but even though it's big kills and, of course, even more gold for them to mess around with, until that Roshan is alive, this game is not going to be unbreakable for either side, but that's where now Basher, this Slark is so strong now. Nengo Flow is just a beast, and they're keeping this control near the Roche pit as well. Gonna take a lot for DogChamp to actually force it away from them, and during nighttime, well, he just saw everybody. He knows where the Enigma is, and I don't know if you black hole him, but
he's gonna do it.
Oh, he reacted.
Can they even get the kill on Yengo Flow, though? No, they can't. The Torrent comes in. The Ghost Ship's going to follow, hitting up onto everybody left. Stonebank, again, is starting to run out of time on that BKB. Has to be unbelievably careful, because the Enrage alone is not enough to protect him. Same trap. Not the same place at least, but once the BKBs wear off, it just isn't enough. And yeah, that solo black hole, I actually don't know. I was going to try and frame it a little bit more positively, ET, but there's no way they have the damage to find the kill during that black hole duration.
No, and it's just a great reaction. Getting the Shadow Dance off, it was just a complete waste from Italiano Gangster. He just settled too quickly and is making that black hole play into the night. And now, well, 10 seconds up on the Roche. Have your CM just sitting in it.
V9.
Yeah. Oh, and now on the run. Yeah. Then go float. This Ags is just so funny. It's such a great pickup now as well with the whole fact of getting Agi stacks off of landing pounces, but Roche is alive, it's scouted out, they all turn around. I'm assuming you give the Ag Shard probably over to the Slark as well, and the problems are just many at this point, and there is no way DogChamp can fight for it. They'd love to, but if they do, Italiano Gangster is just more or less a passenger here. He's a spectator for the fight, because without Black Hole, he really doesn't have that much impact to give, except for maybe the Wraith Pact, but there you go. Aegis claimed, Ag Shard picked up by the Slark, Aegis for the Slark as well. Oh.
Well, DogChamp sure as hell have their work cut out for them now. Having to potentially plan out a high ground defense against Aegis. No black hole for how long? 70 seconds, so it's going to get a little bit rough, although Ravens aren't immediately pushing for the high ground. Might take that final outer tower first, just kind of close in that ring around their opponents, and at this point, maybe find Italiano Gangster as well, because he is going for the split push game here. Does anyone want to come down here to try and catch him, though? Looks like for now the answer is no. Instead, they are sort of fanning out in the north side jungle. Not sure they're going to catch anyone out up here either, so some time bought if you're DogChamp.
No, definitely some time that you can afford to sit on these side lanes, but that's also where Ravens, once they do close in, they will eventually make their way onto these tier 2s. RCY, though, trying to keep it in. Oh, he's hunted. He's been found. The Ags, and BKB is going to have to come out.
Yeah. The familiars are still
on the
chasing,
run, but
though.
it's just disabling his Blink Dagger. It needs one more hit. Otherwise, yeah, should just go for the TP and will make his escape. And Stonebank is able to stick on the CM. Okay, but Slark's here. Where's the black hole? Avatos, that might be Aegis, but can you stick around? No BKB on the Ursa anymore. Run away. Oh!
Well, he's not able to run away at all. They just get right back onto him. And Yaren, he was the one who ate the boat there. It just doesn't really matter. They still find the kill. He's at least able to blink home, but well, that's not going to be worthwhile, right? They lose Kara, but they find the kill onto the Ursa. It does cost them their Aegis, so maybe that makes them think twice about going on to any sort of push here. But at the same time, with the Ursa dead, unless he's willing to commit buyback ET, he's going to be off this map for a while, and without the Ursa, there is no fight from DogChamp.
Yeah, no, they can't really afford to. There is, however, a black hole available now for Italiano Gangster, so maybe he's feeling a little bit more confident. They also do have the high ground ward, so something to maybe play around just a bit. And Dodd is walking up, and okay, they're gonna have to use everything here. That's step one.
Hole.
And step two.
Where's
Rest
the
of the
damage?
lineup is coming, though.
Dodd's gonna defensively boat, trying to stay alive. Will he be able to do so? No. Can't toggle the armlet, but Kara is able to channel out the ult. It gets canceled pretty quickly, but that does buy time for Nyengo Flow to get in. The pounce is going to connect. Tismar comes forward as well. Gets a sidekick onto his teammate. And Italiano is not going to be able to clear out of this one. He's getting bashed up, dropped low. And they will find that kill. Now they want a little bit more. Pig pull attempt from B9 is not going to get him out of trouble. If you're DogChamp, honestly, I don't know. You use Black Hole and you get the kill onto the Kunkka. That is great. That's impressive, but 3 kills, and all of them going to the Visage on top of that. It's not the greatest of trade-offs, especially since you see Benjaz finished off the Ags a little while back. He's looking for a Hex now, so the Visage isn't just about defensive utility anymore. Now he's going to come searching for you.
Yeah, no, it's just a little bit too effective, and, well, really, is a black hole for a Kunkka really what you want to be using when the rest of the lineup is just so capable? And now a full Abyssal Blade on the Slark. I mean, we're just not seeing that same level of growth from Stonebank. He's finally been able to farm a little bit. It's a big reason why we didn't see him in that last fight. He just split off towards bottom instead to try and get his next item, but oh, Stonebank, you can't TP out of this.
This is
okay.
Oh my god, he's
Oh my
dead.
God.
How does he die that fast? Jesus. Well, Ingo Flow and Dismar just punched him to death, and this time around, he doesn't even have the buyback that he had last time, so Ravens are just going to keep on pushing. B9's been spotted. Benjaz is going to get onto him. Flame Break is a little bit of knockback there, but the stun's still in. The pounce connects. DogChamp really got to stop the bleeding right now, but Italiano Gangster just blinking TP now. Not sure if you really want to take any risk. He's been scanned out, so they know he hasn't left yet. Oh, he's getting a little greedy. Wants the extra lane, but now he'll go for the TP.
Yeah, and you will able to just kind of escape in that situation, but there you go, BKB. Well, this is why the Enigma has been so impactful. Maybe the Eidolons, of course, you know, getting nerfed in lane has made a lot of teams just wean off of that hero, but maybe now, at least at the high ground defense, you can still feel the strength of Enigma, but I don't know, it just hasn't really been working out here. And you did lose the Aegis pretty early on into that second Aegis's life, so you kind of have to be a little chill. Your Ravens don't want to give up anything too expensive to your opponents here, but that's also where we are getting closer and closer to the realm of luxury. We've got a Blink Dagger on the Kunkka. We've got Hexes queued up afterwards. That progression is just simply not there for DogChamp. And fighting for the high ground ward here, but watch Italiano. Oh, Blink disabled. Bird stun.
Yeah, that's a problem. He's just taken down. No buyback available, and now they're in onto more. Abyssal Blade stun onto the Enchantress, able to take her down. Dismar. Dismar is getting to that, or not getting to, he's at that point. BKB Skullbasher, this is the build for the Marcy. She is now effectively a core hero. They weren't ready for that jump in, and well, okay, Lasso's gonna be there. Stonebank's gonna get in for the damage, and that is enough to take Benjaz down. Godlike spree that they bring to an end. Honestly, without the Aegis, I don't know. If you're Ravens, do you go back in? Don't have Ghost Ship.
They're baiting. Oh, B9.
Got the X. And there's going to be the kill. They got a toss back onto Niengo Flow, though, but look at Dismar coming in. Dispo's pulling Yarn out of the fight. He's now leashed up by the Pounce. Do they want to go all the way in? Kara does, but Kara's not the damage dealer. He needs to be careful.
Watch the Enigma.
Where is Italiano? He wants his Blink. Doesn't have great targets at the moment. It's just Kara that they see. Are they gonna... They're gonna let him go. They can't stop it. No first hit bash. Well, if you're DogChamp, you know what? That's still kind of okay, right? Benjaz goes down, lots of gold into your hands, and you don't lose the high ground.
Yeah, and you give another opportunity for Italiano to try and make a play happen, even though we are getting more and more into that Doomsday territory, and Ward does die. They've got a gem now picked up, and
hello there.
wow.
How you doing? How's it going?
He's gonna get Abyssal Bladed and die.
Oh,
That's
boy.
that's the bad news.
I've never seen a pause timed up that perfectly. As Italiano apparently had an audio problem, but yeah, he's almost certainly dead. No way he can get off something before the Abyssal comes through, right? No. Got to see his death right in front of his own eyes. In the meantime, though, that is a counterplay onto Dismar, which it's not really worth losing your Enigma, but it is worth saying, you know, Dismar is starting to get a little bit higher up there in terms of his net worth, so that's not a throwaway death from the Marcy here either.
Yeah, no. I think just got a little bit ahead of himself. Probably should have just stuck a little bit closer to the Slark, and he would have seen that that was a good 2 or 3 heroes that were looking to kill him, but well, let's see what the Roche timer is. That's really all that matters at this point, especially with how key these black holes have become. Well, if you got an Aegis, you can't black hole that person. It's where 50 seconds. Okay. Again, very fast with the timers here, and that will force DogChamp maybe into a slightly faster reaction, but again, we'll have to see if Ravens can maintain this chokehold over this top vision, because they can. DogChamp might not find the angle to actually get into the pit, but we'll see. Once Dismar's alive, they could also look up for a smoke as well. They know they can just kind of maintain this vision. And with Nengoflo walking around, dewarding everything, they are very aware that DogChamp are currently playing blind. But here we go. Smoking. They have to get the hill very quickly if they do, but Kara is baiting. He's saved for buyback as well, and
Yarn
there's
is
the
blinked
ops
over.
placed.
Okay, they find the first kill, then they get the lasso down. There's a refresher up on the Batrider as well, so he could be able to refresh that and go back in, but the damage is just too much. Italiano Gangster, he finally gets out the the black hole, but the damage is not here. There's just no one to help. Italiano Gangster will fall to the north. Stonebank is all alone. He's going to try and fight his way out of it, BT, but it's not a fight that he wins, and DogChamp. So many different aspects of that fight went well for them. They just don't put them all together. And they're just going to lose way too much here. Kara gets picked off on the back line, I suppose, but look at Nengoflo. He's just diving onto B9. His teammates are trying to deal with Yarn outside of the base. They should be able to do so, but there is a buyback coming in now from the Ursa, so they do have to show a little bit more respect here. Stonebank's not out of it yet, but what chance do they have now to contest this Roche, right?
Yeah, especially because they're just going to walk in and be like, oh, hey, he's a... Yeah, let's go, guys. Oh, and there's a regen rune as well. Nengoflo is gone, so maybe it takes a little bit longer, but you've got AC, you've got Ags as well, and Benjaz. This is just going to be free. He's going to make his way just so that way he can actually probably pick up the Aegis. He's probably still your carrier, but what is this? Free Ags? I guess you give it to the Kunkka just because he's the one that's here, but... Now you've got waterworks you're going to have to deal with. I mean... Oh, and they do actually give the Aegis to the Kunkka.
Okay.
A decision I don't know if I entirely like, but maybe that's Nengoflo just feeling a little unkillable. But that also makes quite a bit of sense, as also doesn't have that many slots anymore. Had to give his gem over to Benjaz because he's very quickly running out of room right now. In the bottom, oh, he saw Stonebank. Ooh, okay.
Very close call as the Stonebank Ursa's allowed to get away, but yeah, now, God, this fight's going to get so tough, right? With that Aghanim Scepter, he's got the Torrent Storm, so anyone who isn't already BKB'd is not really going to have any way to get into the fight, and really the primary person I'm worried about on that front is Italiano Gangster. His BKB is still at 8 seconds, so that's not a bad timer, but that means if you pop that BKB, that black hole better damn well be following in 8 seconds or the fight's done.
Yeah, and here we are. And of course, even though maybe you're not the fastest push ever with Visage Birds, with an AC, with a Kunkka that's doing easily...
Nengoflo doing? He's getting caught.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oops. Glyph comes in before the tier 3 tower even goes down, so all of a sudden, this is kind of awkward. This is also why you were saying maybe they should have put the Aegis onto the Slark, but they're going to try and force something here. B9 in some trouble, dropping low, but Stonebank is hacking away at Dismar, and they are going to be able to find that kill. Now, if you're Ravens, I don't know, do you even really want this? They do have Tidal Wave, they do have the fleet coming in, the Torrent Storm's going to be deployed, but and none of that really does them any good. Kara still gets tossed up and taken down, and they have to retreat.
Yeah, Nengoflo just kind of walked underneath an area that I think he thought was clear, but didn't have the gem to actually deward anything, so the ward just ends up surviving, and then simply he gets blink lassoed because he's underneath just high ground vision. So yeah, big turnaround, ton of XP as well, not to mention 2,000 gold gifted to the Ursa who now has an Abyssal Blade, so 30k gold be damned, because unless you can use all that to win a team fight, our buildings are still alive. DogChamp are not out of this just yet, and that's where tools like the Black Hole, like the Refresher on the Batrider, you're starting to get over the hill where, yeah, this game gets a lot scarier for Ravens in the next 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, we're getting into that late game stage where things will shift, and as you said, the net worth lead is not going to matter. The only thing that matters are really itemization and buybacks at this point in the match. But Ravens, they want to get things back under control here. They're going to try and push their way up. They do spot B9, but Dodd, he's going to be forced into an early BKB, but that does allow him to get off the X. Italiano Gangster, though, pops a BKB of his own. And it looks like They're trying to get away. B9 should TP out. Italiano Gangster, though, does not. Ningo Flow gets involved, finds the pick. Yeah, RCY, time to go. He's going to TP home. Takes it out free and clear, but it looks like Ravens are going to set up for another push, but... Well, they're going to have to do it quickly. Minute and a half on the Aegis, and once that's gone, I don't know if they have the confidence.
Oh, and there is a buyback on the Enigma, so he is not shut out of the game just yet here. But I'll have to see if they can make this push happen. Very low on mana on the Kunkka as well. Not like he has any of his spells just yet, but he's trying to make this happen. Okay, just blink, Hex, toss back. Maybe that's B9's death, but gotta be very careful here.
There's the lasso.
And again, Nengo.
He's gonna get caught. They can't save him. He can't even get the cheese off because he's locked down. Oh, Ravens, they may have made a bit of a mistake. Let's see if they can right the ship. They're going to get the tidal wave out. That does catch out too. Kara's going to channel out the freezing field. That does allow them to connect onto Yarn, but they need more damage. And look, here's Stonebank. He's a very angry bear, and he's going to start hacking away at Benja. Self-stone form, though, going to keep him alive. But it just feels like Ravens have already lost a whole hell of a lot here. They're trying to back away, but there's another lasso catching out the Visage. They're going to pull him back in. They clean him up. They get most of his familiars, I believe, there too. Or, no, they don't. But they get the hero itself. That's the most important aspect. Stonebank, meanwhile, picked up a triple kill, and BT starting to get a little bit worrying if you're Ravens.
Yeah, they've thrown away quite a lot of their lead, and a dive where Italiano Gangster isn't pressured into buying back while they're throwing themselves at what is their just high ground. I don't know. It's just so weird, and it's also just the insane timing from RCY to actually find the lasso onto the Slark twice in a row now, where he just doesn't have Dark Pact going already. It's just almost bewildering. Not to mention as well, the Lincolns hasn't been put on him whenever he goes for these crazy dives. It just feels like Ravens is making this game a whole lot harder on themselves than really has any business being, but with that being said, DogChamp just keep on finding these great team fights and more money in their favor. They're pulling back more net worth each time they get those punishes out. And unless Italiano Gangster is actually forced to use the black hole, this is also just a good circumstance. If he's never forced the black hole, well, he's always going to have it. He's never going to have to be put in that back against the wall situation where he's just not a hero, because the rest of the team is just making it work.
And now, I don't know, I can't help but cast my mind back to that decision that we were a little bit critical of, right? They put the Aegis into the Kunkka's hands, they put the cheese on the Slark. The Slark dies twice. The Aegis then times out without really being used effectively, and what you got out of it was one tier 3 in the bottom lane and I think the other one up in the top lane. So, well, if Nyengo Flow was going to try and make risky plays like that, maybe he should have been the one to have the second life.
Yeah, but past is in the past. It's time to go. Time to look at what we can actually do here. And I hate to say it, but fourth Roche is looking pretty ideal for both of these sides. It's so funny because this is such a Ravens game. We've always gone here. They will look for fourth, fifth. I don't think we've seen a sixth Roche yet, but it feels like with how Ravens have been playing in this tournament, despite feeling like the better team, despite having the advantage for tens of minutes, they just don't want to press it. They just want to be a little bit more cautious when it comes to everything. And we'll see if that ends up paying off. Because nighttime, again, favors them heavily just because they have the Slark, they have that extra vision, and with this high ground, a little bit dangerous for DogChamp to get any closer, but that's where they're also maintaining control over their own high ground here, so they have to share. But a lasso, but not.
Oh, that's a problem. He's hexed. Yeah, he didn't BKB in time. It's RCY to go down. The tidal wave is going to pull multiple heroes away, and Italiano Gangster, he's just going to get bashed, then stunned. Oh, DogChamp, it's not good. 3 heroes dead. It's going to be a 4th as Yarn will fall. In the blink of an eye, ET. It's just all gone. All the progress that they had made over the last 5 to 10 minutes, it's gone.
Yeah, now, well, Enigma buyback's going to get forced. You don't have buyback on the Bat Rider, but he would have been forced into using, you know, his refresher to get any of his spells back up, so not ideal anyway, but yeah, they have to hope that they can
kill
the Slark, but oh, is that your dieback on the Enchantress? Yes, it is, and now onto the buildings. Not to mention 35 Roche timer as well. So if this does go belly up, Ravens could probably just run at that as well. But yeah, this might be the game blown wide open here.
And there's the first lane taken. They're going to rotate their way mid. The Enigma just bought something, so he no longer has buyback, and that means they're really just going to concede. They're going to let 2, potentially even 3 lanes of racks go and hope for one last fight. But I mean, Ravens have so much, right? We saw that Nullifier come into play. The Hex was huge onto the bat. There is now an Abyssal up on Dismar, so you have 2 Abyssal Blades into this engagement, and against 2 Abyssal Blades, I don't really know how Italiano Gangster gets anything done. He's going to try anyway. There is the Black Hole. No one's canceling it just yet. But Stonebank, he's not doing enough damage. He's already lost half of his HP. Italiano Gangster goes down. Stonebank falls as well, and this might just be over. There's going to be a buyback out from the Ursa immediately. But he's losing too many of his teammates. Yarn gets taken down. The rest are pushed back into the fountain. And there it is. GG will be called. DogChamp put up a hell of a fight, ET, but at the end of the day, it's not enough.
Yeah, and some EU math there from Italiano Gangster. Doesn't have enough mana for the next Black Hole. Got off the second Midnight Pulse, so maybe trying to have a little bit too much damage, but he had to steal items for that refresher, so just isn't enough left on the tank. But yeah, Ravens 2-0. DogChamp, pretty sad with the turn of this series, especially with them, you know, nearly winning and almost making an entire comeback. But, well, Ravens, there you go. I mean, I don't think they're guaranteed top seed just yet, but they definitely just took a little bit of a leapfrog forward. The rest of the teams in that top 2nd and 3rd position. But yeah, kind of another gut-wrenching game. Ravens throw for, you know, all of 10 minutes, and then eventually things simmer back down and they say, oh yeah, we're the better team. We forgot. Yeah, let's just win now. Why not?
Yep. And of course, if there were Infamouses, Hikoris, Nounses, if there were teams like that in the field, you wouldn't really get away with a play like that. But Ravens, it's part of the beauty of the field we have for this event. All those teams are off in Singapore preparing, so it's, you know, it's not meant to be much of a flame against DogChamp, but they're not quite the same caliber. They did try, and they were able to take advantage of some of those miscues for a little while, but not enough to actually pull it all the way back.
Nope. Couldn't punish it. Couldn't make enough happen. Arguably, we're just a little bit scared for certain points of the game, and then they were absolutely getting worked. And early on, sure, you got the lane, you got the musical lanes, you've got everybody moving around, you feel happy, and then Dodd gets a kill, and then Dodd gets a BKB, and then you throw everything away at the mid tower, and then Ravens, they're just so good at finding the little ups, the little wins here and there, and then they just turn those into huge advantages, huge amounts of territory that they're able to claim, and then just seemingly never give up for the rest of the game. Even though I think this was maybe DogChamp's turn. Was definitely hard fought, but could have been their turn to maybe get a leg up over Ravens. But instead, Ravens end up being the one-loss team in our bracket so far.
Yeah, they are still looking pretty damn good. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna swing it on over here to the other screen so you can take a look at those standings. With this 2-0, Ravens improve their record to 10-2, and ET, as you said, that's not quite enough, I believe, to secure them that spot, but they are now back in sole possession of first place for the time being. So they reclaim that position with 2 more series, I believe, left to play. So they are sitting pretty for the time being. Meanwhile, Wolf Team and Felt, almost mixed their names, each getting 1 point. Their position really does not shift massively, but for those teams in particular, that does matter, right? Wolf Team still within striking distance. You can see them there, a couple points behind SG Esports, 3 points behind 5ret, whereas Felt get that all-important point to put them 2 series ahead of 5-man Midas. So they are appreciating that. And also, I'm just now realizing I was saying Felt and Wolf Team. It was Felt and no runes. So technically everything I said was still true, except for the matchup. Wolf Team played 5-ret 4 staff, but they still did get the 1 point out of it. So you can see everyone moving up just that little bit. So pardon me for the mistake, but there's your group stage standings in ET. Well, it's kind of funny, right? We're talking about all these teams at the top, Raven getting up there, but really I think the single most important thing that I saw today was felt getting that third point, because with the way Five Man Midas have been playing, they might not be safe to playoffs.
Yeah, and we'll have to see because again, on the second, that's going to be the game. That's going to be the five-man Midas. Do you lose despite it all, or will you have just something else to play for here? And that's also where five-man Midas have 3 matches in the next 3 days. But that's also where, on the other side, you got to watch out for no runes because they have a super back-loaded schedule here. They've got, again, 3 more series to look up to. And that's where they could honestly surge ahead of a lot of these other teams. It's where Wolf team eating that loss just doesn't feel very good for them, and it's where New Runes can absolutely just move above them. And then suddenly you're like, oh well, shucks, they're top 4 now, and we're very upset with how our first half of our games went if we're Wolf team. But again, that's where we'll have to see in the next 3 days.
And we will get some immediate answers to at least the no runes question, because they are scheduled for 2 series tomorrow afternoon. If I am reading the schedule right, they're going to play both SG Esports and this DogChamp lineup. So yeah, that's going to be their best opportunities for points, because their final series is against Ravens. So at this point, I don't think we can really bank on anybody taking points off of Ravens and feeling comfortable about that, But yeah, by the end of tomorrow, No Rune's position in the standings could have shifted quite significantly. So that is going to be on the docket. But for today, we are done. That is 3 more best of 2s in the books here. So we are coming down really to the home stretch. And at this point, we really have not locked anyone into anything as of yet.
Yeah, fingers crossed, especially if you're five-man Midas. That I think we're like talking about you a little bit here, but yeah, we'll have to see because you don't want to be that one team that goes home, but nothing's spoken for yet.
So hope you tune in tomorrow afternoon. It is going to be SG No Runes, DogChamp No Runes, and then Belt versus Ravens. That will be the final matchup. So we'll see if some stuff shifts or if it all just remains kind of boring and stable, but those matches are for tomorrow afternoon. Same start time, 1 p.m. Pacific time, so we will be here to kick off another day of action. But for now, we are going to be saying goodbye. So thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the Dota. Hope you join us tomorrow afternoon as well. But for now, thank you and enjoy the rest of your night.